Welcome to Sunday Mornings with Enlightenism. I'm Brother Malcolm.
And I'm Sister Carolyn.
We're here today to share some wonderful insights with you about Enlightenism, a new philosophy on how to think, a new way to think and live. And today, Sister Carolyn is going to talk about this new way to think and live. She's an Enlightenism practitioner, teacher, workshop facilitator, and a lady on the move sharing Enlightenism insights with you so you can get the benefit of this powerful information to change how you think and live. Change how you think and live with Enlightenism, Sister Carol.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We truly are a new way to think and live. And I am Sister Carolyn. I'm an Enlightenism teacher and consciousness practitioner. And one of my roles in my own life is to be and do this work. It's not always easy doing the work. Sometimes you forget along the way, and those habits and things that you had going for so long come back. And that's when you really begin to understand this philosophy called Enlightenism, about a new way to think and live, about a new way to unlearn the suffering that we cause so often in our own life. One of the things that I realize about Enlightenism and about teaching it, sometimes the teachings come up for me to look at. And what I mean by that is when I have an experience that I don't really like and that I don't really want to be a part of, sometimes you want to escape. And by trying to escape, you just make the matter worse. And one of the things that happened to me this weekend was the very thing that I'm talking to you about. It's trying to move away from something, knowing that you have the power within you to do this. But one of the things I know about Enlightenism, we have full-blown power, and we don't always use it because we don't know how sometimes when something happens. But one of the things you have to know along the way, along this journey, is that you have the power within you to change the way you think and live, no matter how big the explosion may be in your life. And you're thinking at the time of the explosion, I can't change this. I can't do anything about it. The only thing that we cannot do anything about ever is another person. But we can always do something for ourselves. Something to move through our lives successfully and more freely. And that is what Enlightenism is about. A new way to think and live. You were born whole, perfect and complete, faceless, formless, colorless, and ageless. And when you remember this, you know that within that statement, you have everything that you will ever need for the journey. So don't count yourself out, no matter how much time you may spend in the explosion, as I did this weekend. And as I work my way through the explosion of lack, limitation, and struggle, because that's what it is always about. It is about something that you believe that you're lacking. And when you know that you're not lacking this, you do have to wait for the opportunity to unlearn. You can't just say, I have it, I can unlearn it. It's not always that easy. At first, along the way, we're moving along, knowing this information, or knowing of the information, I should say. And when you know the information, it is when you are powerful enough to do something about it. Other than that, you only know of the information of being whole, perfect, and complete, faceless, formless, colorless, and ageless. Within that, you have everything that you will ever need for the journey. Now, you reaffirm that every day when you wake up. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get these explosions of lack, limitation, and struggle in your life. And you can't know two things at once. So you're going to know one greater than the other at the time that that happens. And the only thing that I invite you to do is always reaffirm who you are and who you are aware of being. And sometimes it's not so easy to reaffirm who you are. But knowing that, and knowing that this power is always within us because we were born with this power. I think about a passage in the book Enlightenism that I read this morning. And it says this: when you enlighten your mind to overcome the barriers that prevent you from living a successful life, you will begin to use your mind to create different outcomes in your life. And to create different outcomes in our life is not always as instantaneous as sometimes we want to believe. It's like being on a diet. Just because you're on a diet doesn't mean you instantly lose the weight. You reaffirm and you commit every moment that you are on a diet, just as you do Enlightenism. You reaffirm and continue to commit so that when those explosions happen, you know who you are aware of being. I invite you to purchase the book Enlightenism from Amazon. It is a great read. Read the 10 principles first and then the affirmations daily so that you can always know you have the power within you to change the way you think and live. And now it's time for Brother Malcolm. And so I give you author, philosopher, and creator of Enlightenism, Brother Malcolm.
Thank you so much, Sister Carol,
You're
for those
welcome.
wonderful insights. Today, folks, is a wonderful day with Enlightenism on the forefront in all of our lives so that we can understand there is a power in us that can change how we think and live. I want to say today that there's a little different twist in the broadcast today. One of the things that we're focusing on is that I've had a number of people who've asked me, what is this Enlightenism and why do you talk about God consciousness? Are you some type of spiritual, religious type person? I want to answer that today with, yes, I am a spiritual person. I believe that God exists in everyone as consciousness. I call it God consciousness, and it is within each one of us. This power is available to us if we can let go and unlearn what others have taught us about God consciousness and other things that distract us from really getting clear about who we are and the power within. So it's like the church of Enlightenism, so to speak. It's a different way to think about Enlightenism as a group of people coming together to learn more about themselves, to learn more about Enlightenism and God consciousness. There's no absolute way for all of us to do anything until we get clear about who we are. And who are we without the beliefs and values that we receive from other people? Is this a journey to wake up? Not wake up in terms of things I'm talking about politically, but a journey to wake up from the nightmare that we're in this illusion about who we are. And that's where the pain and suffering is coming from. You can learn more about the Enlightenism philosophy and checking out some of the books that I have written on Enlightenism and powers of the mind. Because I believe and know that the mind is a powerful force. And just because we have lived a certain way does not mean we have to continue to live this way. We do not have to think of ourselves as powerless. We do not. We do not have to be critical of ourselves because we don't think and act the way everyone else is thinking and acting. To get on the narrow road, we have to let go of others' beliefs about who we are, and we are using those other beliefs to define ourselves. Redefine yourself with power. Claim the God consciousness within you because it's there. And it makes you whole, perfect, and complete. God consciousness is not AI. One thing you can be sure of, with all of the talk and the hoopla about AI, it will not find the God consciousness in you. You will have to use divine self-knowledge to find the God consciousness in you. So in that regard, folks, I am spiritual. But I'm a power of the mind man that believes in God consciousness within you. So it's a new way to think about spirituality, religion, or whatever you want to call it. This is a new way to think about it, like in a group setting of the Church of Enlightenism. It's a different play on words because something doesn't have to be negative just because you don't understand it. If you don't understand something, then it can become very negative. And then it's just like a snowball. Everyone begins to find out what is it that you expect to happen with a temple, a church. What do you want it to do for you? And what are you going to do for yourself is the most important thing that we're talking about today. What can you do for yourself? That if you know that you have God in you and exists in this consciousness, what can you do for yourself? Depend on the consciousness within you, the narrow road, the narrow path, the inward road, the inward journey is where you will discover God consciousness. And that is what God consciousness and Enlightenism is about, folks. It is about the inner mind power, the powers of the mind, Enlightenism, a new way to think and live. I'm Brother Malcolm.
And I'm Sister Carolyn.
Check back with us again, folks. Be sure to check out the book. Stay tuned to the broadcast. I have some exciting stuff coming down the road about this new approach to dealing with God consciousness in you. It's a new approach. So stay tuned for the Church of Enlightenism. I'm Brother Malcolm.
I'm Sister Carolyn. Thanks for listening.